Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing all right. So today felt like a crown day. I don't know why, but here we are. I think there's one piece that's loose, it's like a loose tooth. You know what I mean? It's just kind of hanging in there. But yeah, I might have to put some glue on it or something. But anyway, I hope everyone is doing well, and I do apologize if you were watching the last video and I was supposed to come back last night, but um, I just decided to wait and come back and start with Capricorn, and this time just do Aquarius instead of trying to do three, because every time I try to do that, it hasn't been working so far. So we'll start with two, and then I'll take a short break and then come back later with Pisces and Aries will be the last two. So anyway, this reading, right? Everybody is welcome. So it can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc., money, all that good stuff. It is a timeless reading. So whenever you see this reading, it is meant for you, right? So as an example, it could resonate for some, 3 months in the past, 3 months in the future, more than 3 months, 6 months, a year in the past, a year in the future. Okay, so take it how it resonates for you always, right? And I am going to be taking a photo, like I always do, of each of the cards that we pull for each zodiac sign. So after the live, I will post that on my Facebook. And so if you want to get there, all you have to do is click in the description box below after the live, and it'll be the photo will be posted there. I'm like, what am I trying to say? All right. So what else we're doing? If you've watched me before, or even if you're new, right? Everyone is welcome, and appreciate everyone's energy. We're doing a little bit of a different spread than I have been doing. So this time we're going to do 4 cards for the 4 weeks of this reading. Is essentially 4. So from April 20th through about May 20th. And then we'll do a little oracle card at the end, but we always use 2 different decks like we have been doing. So let's go ahead and get into it. I think that's everything I wanted to mention in the beginning. Oh, wait, one more. I'm always like looking to my table like it has the answers, but I don't know. I just look at my rock sometimes and they're like, wait, don't forget to mention. So the other thing I was going to mention was that depending on what's going on in your life, right, you may resonate more with your sun sign or your moon sign or your rising sign. So that's why if you don't already know your other placements, I always encourage everyone to do a little free birth chart online just by Googling it. Even if you don't have your exact birth time, you can still find out some of your other placements. So if we get into the reading and then you find that it's not your reading, that's okay. Maybe check out one of your other placements in the videos here on my channel if you feel like it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it here. I want to do a quick sound bell for some healing and grounding for myself and for you guys, and get the dog and the cat hair out. So just be aware, sometimes it does get loud if you're sensitive. And if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just listen, okay, whatever you feel like. All right. All right, so put this over here. Cool. So let's go ahead and pull some cards for Capricorn. All right. So what I always do, I don't know if I've talked about this before. I probably have, but usually before I start any reading, or just for the day, right, is I will call in my ancestors, my spirit guides, my animal spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, all those things. The ones that I know the names for, I will help bring them in with me to be a good channeler and to make sure I remain objective and to give me messages, right? And so I also just call in any of my helpers, right? So any positive spirits, and only positive spirits and entities are welcome to aid me in this reading, this general reading for Capricorn and Aquarius, right? And so I kind of do a little thing, not exactly that, but kind of like, it's like the general idea. So sometimes if you hear me and I say, spirits guide my hands, right? Or help me focus the messages, right? That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to source. I'm talking to spirit, spirits, whatever you want to call it. Okay. All right. So we want some messages for Earth sign Capricorn for their highest vibration, and what do they need to see? What do they need to know for April 20th through May 20th Capricorn? Dog hair flying. I don't know if you guys can see that, but anyway, good times. Dog hair and cat hair is magical. Not for your allergies, but they help the readings. That's what I tell myself. All right. They do actually, when they're not barking and meowing for food and all that good stuff. Okay. So I'm going to make my little fish pond here, and then we'll just pull one card. And I won't start the timer until we have all of the cards out. Okay, so I'm not counting the shuffling in between as part of your reading. All right. Messages for Earth sign Capricorn for April 20th through May 20th. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Taste, touch, smell, hear for their highest vibration. Messages for Earth sign Capricorn. All right. So that one came out fast. I'll show you that one later. All right. Now we're going to take 4 of these ones. For one for each week, right? Messages for Earth sign Capricorn, April 20th to May 20th. Messages for Earth sign Capricorn, April 20th to the highest good. What does Earth sign Capricorn need to see, touch, taste, smell, know for the highest vibration? April 20th to May 20th. Capricorn. Messages for Capricorn. Messages for Capricorn. April 20th through May 20th. Messages for Earth sign Capricorn. What do you need to see? What do you need to know? Oh, don't fall off the table. All right. So Capricorn. Messages for Earth sign Capricorn for their highest vibration, April 20th to May 20th. Capricorn. What does Earth sign Capricorn need to see, touch, taste, smell, know for their own highest vibration, Capricorn? One more. Earth sign Capricorn. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Capricorn. All right, so then we're going to take one from the top, right, and one from the bottom. And then we have to grab also from our other deck one for the confirmation cards. Messages for Earth sign Capricorn, April 20th to May 20th. This one is very slippery and it's a newer deck and a little harder to shuffle sometimes, but we're going to make it work. Okay, Capricorn. Messages for Earth sign Capricorn. Why did I put this here? I need more spice. I need the spice. All right. Okay. What is Capricorn? I need to see touch, taste, smell, know. What are the highest vibrations? Messages for Capricorn. There's this guy I watch on YouTube. He's really funny. I can't remember his name. I don't remember where he's from. He has an accent, but he does a little like song every time he does the zodiac signs, and he calls Capricorn Capricornius, And it's so cute the way he does it. But I think I have it listed in my description box below some of the other readers that I like to watch. But I'm not going to sing for you guys. I will spare you. I will spare your ears. All right, let's focus. Okay. Messages for Earth sign Capricorn. One card for Earth sign Capricorn for their highest vibration, April 20th through May 20th. Okay. We want to take the top, the bottom. So since this card kind of came out sideways, I will usually go ahead and confirm with my guides which way they want it. I feel like they wanted it reversed, but let me just check. Okay, so they want it actually the other way. So cool. All right. That's why I have to confirm. Okay, so let's bring all this down here. And I think these top and bottoms will just keep down here. I think that's the way I was doing it. We already know we're on Capricorn, so we'll just, oh, there's a card under there. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead here, Capricorn, and get into your reading. So we are doing a little music here. We are doing kind of about 1 week or so is gonna like correlate with the first 4 cards. All right, so we're gonna say that the first one here, going back a little bit in time, so like April 20th through the 27th through May 3rd, where we are now, depending. Okay, if you're watching the live, then yes. And then the third one would be about from May 4th through May 10th. And the last one is a little bit more than a week. It's like 10 days, but again, none of these are exact. They're just kind of reference points. So this is going to be from about May 11th through May 20th, okay? And then we'll talk about what's on the top and the bottom, your confirmation card, and then your little oracle card. All right, Capricorn. Let's go ahead and set your timer here, just a rough estimate so I know what time it is. So let's go ahead and call out your cards, your first 4 anyway. So we have the 8 of Cups in the right side up position. We have the 3 of Cups in the right side up position. We have the Prince of Swords in reverse position, and we have the Emperor in the reverse. And the Emperor in the right side up position. All right. It's like position. Sometimes I stumble there. All right, but Capricorn. So, I would say right off the bat, we don't have more than, well, actually we have 2 major arcanas here. We have one here and then one over here. So real quickly before we get into the meat of the reading, as they say, right? This would be Aries energy for another zodiac. We also have the World card. This is the Emperor, this is the World. So we have the World is 4 signs, right? So it would be Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. So Capricorn, you could be dealing with one of those signs, or you have some of those signs predominantly in your birth chart, or the other person does, or multiple people. Or if it's none of any of those, it could have something to do with the collective unconscious or the astrology for this time period. Obviously today, or maybe not obviously, but is over here in the States anyway, or I guess it would be for everybody, depending on the time, right? We have the Pluto Retrograde happening today, okay? So what was I going to say about that? Pluto retrograde, right? Pluto being the 8th house is the ruler of Scorpio. So we did say we have a little Scorpio here. We also have Aries. Let me grab my astrology notes from before, see if there's anything for Aries in this time period. Yes, the only thing I see is Venus enters Aries on May 2nd. Okay, so we'll put that there. What else do we have? Taurus. Obviously, we're in Taurus season right now. We have Leo. Do we have anything in Leo? No, not really. What else do we have? Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. Do we have anything in Aquarius? I don't think, well, no. I think we are, to look up on my phone, I'll check it later. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. They might be, I think Uranus is still in retrograde. Anyway, I don't want to get too distracted from the reading, so I'll set the timer and everything. But like I said, it could reference something to do with astrology, another person, multiple people, or it could just obviously be the meaning of the card. So let's focus, keep moving forward. I'll try to come back to that later, because yes. So we start off your first card, right, a little bit back in time here, and particularly with the first one, but obviously it can be throughout the reading. There's energy from the recent past that can trickle in, right? So it looks like here, Capricorn, in the recent past with this Eight of Cups in the right side up position, that somebody, either you yourself or another person or multiple people or just an energy, had to walk away from something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be bad. I don't look at this card in a bad way. It's more about figuring out what somebody's emotions mean to them and possibly to other people, right? Because the cups in the tarot represent our emotions. So here, if you can see the card, there's this person kind of walking away towards the Stonehenge, like kind of structure in the background, right? But they have their cape on, they have their back turned, right? So they need time to heal possibly and to focus and figure out what these emotions mean to them, right? So always as an example, when I talk about cups, right, I say, what fills your cup, right? Who fills your cup? Okay, so what makes me emotionally happy, fulfilled? What are my emotional priorities? All of those kind of questions could come into play. Also, there is looks like a crescent moon in the background here, so this could be a timing thing about maybe when this possibly happened for some of you guys, right? So maybe the last new moon, perhaps. We have, let's see. Excuse me, I'm going to try to stay on focus on time, but I wanted to see. Okay, so the last new moon was in Aries on April 1st. Okay, if we're talking about recent past, but again, recent past will be different for everybody. So this Eight of Cups energy or this person could be from the last new moon, right? Not full moon, but new moon. It could also be from a couple of months ago, weeks, months, years, whatever it is. Okay, but it will be different. So let's keep going. Now, I would say here, Capricorn, that you have two cups cards, you have two swords, one wand, well, two wands, and then you have your major arcanas. And I completely forgot, you don't have two, you have three. I was not looking at your confirmation card. So, hold on, go back. We have Aries energy, Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, a little bit of Pisces. Okay. Yes. So interesting. I think you're the first set in this series, Capricorn, that's had three major arcanas in these little smaller readings. But it looks like though you have water energy, you have air energy, you have fire energy, so you pretty much have everything, and then you obviously have a little bit of earth too. So as far as energy wise, you've got a little bit of everything here. But moving forward, back on task, right? We have your second card here, which could be the time frame that we're in now when we're doing this live, right? So from April 27th through about May 3rd or so, we have the Three of Cups. And what's really interesting, and I just want to show you, this was the card, Two of Cups, that went under my table here when I was shuffling for you guys. So when I first looked at the Three of Cups, I thought it was the Two of Cups. But then I said, oh no, it's the Three of Cups. But then the Two of Cups was kind of hiding. So I'm technically not counting it, but it is interesting that I thought it was that one. Okay. So it may not resonate for everybody, but I wanted to show you that card that kind of was hiding there. So anyway, with this Three of Cups energy, this is more supportive energy here for you, Capricorn, or for somebody you're dealing with, or multiple people, general environment situation. It could also be a celebratory energy. Here we see this king with the young knight and the princess or the queen that she's going to be, right? If he's giving his crown to him. But anyway, regardless of the story, they're celebrating. All their cups are in the right side up position, right? They're cheersing together. Okay, so this is really nice to see. So it kind of can be that if somebody needed to take a little bit of a break here in the past to figure out what kind of emotions they were dealing with, or you were dealing with, or vice versa, everybody, then they come back here, right? Coming out of that social break, that energetic break, the emotional break that somebody took, and now we're having that more supportive energy and celebratory energy. So that's really nice here, Capricorn. Now moving forward, and also when we say to May 3rd or so, even the first week of May, it's always a nice energy to have for the new month, right, coming up in May. Now, the only really energetic blockage here as far as what is in your future, current, present energies is this Prince of Swords in the reverse position here. And this is your third card, so we could say it from around May 4th through May 10th or so, right? Not exact. And it seems that somebody is lacking some type of mental clarity or mental understanding of something because perhaps their emotions are overwhelming them in some way, or overwhelming either you yourself, Capricorn, another person, multiple people. Okay, or it could also be that somebody, because of the next card we'll talk about in a minute, is not quite ready to step into a leadership role in some way, or step into their power or their confidence. It could also be they're not ready to take the next step of something, right? It could be a work, career thing. It could be love, relationships. It could be platonic relationships with friends and family. It could be health. It could be money, right? It could be all of those things. But there are a little bit of this like stopping this energetic block, okay? But let me show you the card here, of course. So here is the Prince of Swords in reverse. So if he was right side up, he would be meditating with the emotions behind him, shown in the water, and using it together, his heart chakra and his crown chakra together to make decisions. And he's a prince, he's not a king yet, but he will be moving forward. But it's reversed. So it's almost like somebody maybe is just relying on their emotions, and not having enough, right, mental clarity, their crown chakra, to work together. There could be just a little bit of a blockage here, okay? So this is where we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each of your decks here. So let's do this one here first. So, and this is energy from the recent past, whatever that means for you, or even further back than that, the way back past, okay? So what we have is the Four of Staves or Four of Wands in the reverse position, and then we have the Four of Swords in the right side up position. So 4, 4, interesting. So fours normally represent change if you take it in a more positive way, but one of them is reversed, okay? So it's a little bit of this back and forth, right? Remember I was saying to go from also a prince in reverse to then later an emperor, which is your fourth card we'll talk about in a little bit. It's like a back and forth kind of energy. So when we talk about this past energy along with your Prince of Swords in reverse, there could have been a situation or an energy or person, right, that was not comfortable for you, Capricorn, or the other person, or energy, right, where a celebration could have been put on hold, okay, with the Four of Swords, the Four of Staves, sorry. The Four of Staves, also known as Four of Wands in reverse. It could be that there was something to do with a union, a friendship, a romantic union, a work partnership, that something didn't feel comfortable, or the celebration fun part was put on hold. And that could be because somebody was trying to bury the things that were stressing them out about possibly this union or this celebration, right? And as we know, it's usually not good to bury stuff because then it'll eventually come back out, and it's usually even more dramatic and can make things more confusing, right? So when we talk about the swords and the mental confusion, it can be anxiety, worry, overthinking, right? Or just being too much up in the head. And here we see that Japanese woman kind of, trying to bury the sword. So when we see that with the Prince of Swords in reverse too, yeah, it's like somebody again was, I feel, Capricorn, that it could be also something about, I just lost my train of thought. I had it, hold on. It could be something about, if you, Capricorn, are known as an earth sign, right? You're known as a stable earth energy, right? As a stereotype, okay? Of course, nobody's all the same. If you're known for being more logical, let's say, in a certain way, that perhaps other people were not used to you having your emotions and having them in a positive way and coming back and maybe like affirming what you want again, what your priorities are, and perhaps that's triggered someone or triggered you in some way, and it made you a little bit uncomfortable with that Four of Wands or Four of Staves in reverse. So then it kind of made you go the opposite way for a brief moment, and perhaps get too much up in your head. So what we want, right, is of course the balance between the mind, body, spirit connection, the crown chakra, my crown, yes, yeah, and your heart chakra, right? But let's keep going because we also want to talk about that similar but different energy from the past. So on this deck, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, and that World card in the right side up position was on the bottom of the deck, okay? So here, Capricorn, this could be that you were putting some of your defenses down in the past in some way, or someone that you're around or dealing with, or the general environment, right? And when you did that, or when they did that, or when everyone did that, it made the world full of more possibilities, right? So the World card would be new beginnings, fresh start, all of that. So I kind of feel like with what's on the bottom and the top of each of these decks this time, it feels like if you continue to not speak about what makes you uncomfortable, Capricorn, okay, right? That uncomfortableness when the Four of Staves is in reverse, right next to the Four of Swords, and I was saying 2 fours, right? If you don't talk about what makes you uncomfortable or makes the other person uncomfortable, or everyone environment, then it's going to block your abundance. It's going to block you moving forward and whatever you want to do with your life and focus on. So there has to just be like the faith and trust that if you let some of your defenses down, right, that there will still be good things happening for you and fresh start energy. Okay, so we'll keep going and leave it there for that part. Now, going back to your fourth card, we said this could be energy around May 11th through May 20th is the Emperor. Okay, yes, I know, blah, blah, blah. We're almost there. Okay. So just seeing the progression from one week to the other, right? The Prince of Swords we talked about in reverse to now the Emperor. Okay. So somebody is now possibly feeling more creative, passionate, feeling more confident, feeling like they can be a leader in some way, or even just about themselves, right? Or just confidence. But also they're having the ability to see things perhaps from a higher perspective, or you are here at Capricorn, right? So he has that bird that's sitting right on top of his little ankh, whatever that is there. Looks like an ankh symbol, so that the bird can see everything, right? Flying above the bird's eye view. But this is also that Aries energy. So when we think about even that fresh start energy that possibly you wanted in the past or started to think about in the past, it can perhaps now come about, okay, towards the middle of May, perhaps for some, right? Because the Emperor is that Aries energy. He's the first sign of the zodiac. So they're known as entrepreneurs, they're known as leaders, right? So even if you're not necessarily a leader, it can still bring that fresh start energy. Okay. So it looks pretty good so far, but let's talk about your confirmation card here too. This time we're just using one confirmation card to kind of confirm all of these four right here. So you have the Hanged Man in right side up position. I'm just making sure we have a little bit of music there, just in case the doggy decides to be silly. So when we see the Hanged Man in the right side up position, this is telling me that, you know, you are, if you continue to look at things from a different perspective, from the bird's eye view, seeing all the pieces, not point of view or your little area, but seeing how everything works to make you again more successful and abundant and moving forward in whatever it is you want to manifest in your life. More money, better health, more love, right? Career stuff, all of that. Okay. The only thing with the hangman, because he's hanging upside down, to get that different point of view, to look at something differently, right? If you give 20 people all disposable cameras, or people don't use disposable cameras anymore, but if you give 20 people a cell phone, right, that has a camera phone, and you go say, go take a picture of this tree, okay, or this whatever, right? So everybody will maybe have some of the viewpoints will be similar, some of the angles might be similar, but some might be really different, okay? So that's kind of the plus side of the hanged man in the right side up position. But just remember to while when you're doing that, or if you're encouraging that energy around you, Capricorn, or the person you're dealing with, general environment situation, to remember to ground yourself, right? So if you keep right, seeing something from a larger perspective, like a bird, the bird has to eventually come down and take a break, right? Can't fly all the time. And so just remember to do grounding things, right? So eat good foods, take care of yourself, all that stuff. But it looks really good here, Capricorn. So let's get into your oracle card real quickly, because I know I'm already like way over the 15 minutes, but that's okay. So this one's really pretty. I don't remember this one, but maybe once we start reading about it, I will. So this is the Rumi Oracle deck by Lynn Fairchild. So Rumi was a 13th century Persian poet, and she took some of his poetry and made them into oracle cards. Okay, so the card you got here, Capricorn, is card number 34, and it's Layla. I believe that's Layla. Okay, so it's really pretty woman here with all this abstract imagery. So very pretty. So we'll read the little poem real quick and the meditation, but not everything else. And see if it has any correlations between the reading we just did for you. Sometimes it usually does. It's cool. It looks like there's a little flower or something like right where her arm is. It almost, I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like a little tiny pink flower. All right, anyway, you just look at this card while I read the poem here. Okay. It says, put aside your clever schemes, O lover, be mindless, become mad, dive into the heart of the flame, become fearless, be like a moth, turn away from the self and tear down the house. Then come and dwell in the house of love, be a lover, live with lovers. Clean your chest, okay, clean your chest from all hostility, wash it 7 times, then fill it with the wine of love. Be a chalice for love, be a chalice. You must be all love to be worthy of the beloved. Then going to the gathering of drunks, when going to the gathering of drunks, be a drunk, become drunk. Your thought takes a course, dragging you in its wake. Move beyond thought. Let your heart lead. Be the leader. When the grace of love is revealed, be a mirror to reflect it. When the beloved's hair is loosened, brush it like a comb. Be a comb. How I long for my thoughts to no longer make any sense to me. Then I can be rid of them like noisy house guests who have overstayed their welcome. Oh, the peace when they finally go. Their incessant chatter brings me no comfort. I crave the silence of you. When will you let me hear it? When will you run through the noisy house of my mind with your great muddy feet so that I can focus on something other than my own mind for a while? Maybe you can make such a mess that I shall give up my plans and attempts at order completely. Just give in for a change. It's time for that. To give up my ridiculous fantasies of perfection, uselessness, noisy, irritating, demanding, and yet deadening perfection. I rather just be alive. I want to plant my head in the earth, in the same mud that sticks to your feet, and breathe in her rich soil smell. I want to feel her heart beating in my quiet movements of the roots of the plants as they stretch and grab and stop my ears with their fertile dirt. Finally, gaining peace from the constant infernal racket of thoughts no longer wanted. Okay. So that's beautiful, and I think it definitely, what we were talking about, right? If people always assume that you, perhaps Capricorn or someone you're dealing with, is always just that logical mind or too much up in their thoughts, that you can bring that balance with the emotions, whether they're good or bad, right? And kind of have the heart chakra and the crown chakra work together. Let the defenses down, let that new beginning in, let that royalty, the confidence, excuse me, that leadership qualities in as well. Okay, so here's a little honoring ritual real quick. That poem is longer than some of them, but it's okay, it was pretty. Okay, so it says, to get in the energy of this card, right? Sit in a dark and quiet space if possible and say aloud, I honor the darkness that serves the all-loving light. Through the grace of Rumi and the Divine Mother, I am blessed with growth of my soul into life. Even within the darkest of places, the Divine Beloved dwells with unfailing generosity and compassion. In my surrender, I am held, and in my darkness, the seed of new life takes root. So be it. All right. So yeah, I think that could definitely be that new beginnings we were talking about. So very nice here, Capricorn. Hopefully you got something from that. So let's go ahead and clear our energy and get back into shuffling for Aquarius. Yes, we should have enough time to do Aquarius real quickly. Back later tonight and probably do Aries. Okay, so that's all of the stuff here. So yeah, when I was mentioning earlier, guys, the Pluto retrograde, how it was like affecting me a little bit last night. With some people during retrogrades or any time, right, planets just going backwards when it's retrograde. Anytime we have a planetary shift, whether it's retrogrades or just things aligning or crossing each other or squaring each other, some people can feel it before others or after, right? You can have, speaking of things coming up, right? You have the Mercury Retrograde. I know it doesn't have to be all bad, though. It gets a bad rap. Is coming up on May 10th. So we're already technically also, in that pre-shadow period of Mercury Retrograde. So that can also be, where did I put your card? Oh, it's here. That can also be something, that of course affects technology, communications, just to name a few, right? So maybe the reason why I had to kind of take that break last night and didn't get to come back as much as I wanted to was because of the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, but also the Pluto retrograde, okay? So I'm just trying to think of things to talk about, right, while we do some shuffling here. Just kind of randomly throwing stuff together. And what else can we talk about? What else do we have? Oh, yes. Officially today, not only does Pluto go retrograde, right, which is truth and transformation, Pluto, things, maybe truths are harder to understand than normal. I go into a lot of it on the astrology notes more for my channel here if you want to get into it, but also Mercury is actually just moving into Gemini as of today too. So that's also another shift, right? When we're talking about, feeling shifts and that kind of stuff. So anyway, let's just kind of mix it up here. I don't really necessarily have to turn all of the reversals right side up. I usually do, but because we're kind of crunched for time, I shouldn't worry about it because I confirm with the cards when I pull them anyway, what position they want things. Okay. And we're going to do the shuffling anyway. So. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Put that over there. My music. Where did it go? There we go. All right. So let's mix these guys up here too. All right. So let's do actually a quick sound bell to ground ourselves again. Always put the crystals on cards, helps clear. We don't always have to, but it's good time. So let's because we're going to get into Aquarius. Okay, it's your turn, Aquarius. So let's take a deep breath if you feel guided, right? Okay. Okay. All right, so let's start here with the Oracle card for Aquarius. Water sign Aquarius. You're not water, you're air. I always do that because it's like a pitcher pouring water. So I'm like, oh, water, but it's not. You're an air sign. Let's try that again. Okay, messages for air sign Aquarius for April 20th through May 20th. Okay. What do they need to see? The highest vibration messages for Aquarius. Messages for Aquarius for April 20th through May 20th. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Highest vibration. Oops. Messages for air sign Aquarius for the highest vibration. One card, please. For April 20th through May 20th. Messages for Aquarius. Oh, I definitely have not seen that card before. How beautiful. I'll wait to show it to you at the end, but it's really pretty. Okay. Maybe you can see kind of a little bit of it in the background. All right. Aquarius. Messages for air sign Aquarius. April 20th Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to see? Touch, taste, smell, milk. Aquarius. Messages for Aquarius. April 20th Aquarius. And it's just like this. I'm going to mix it up anyway. Messages for air sign Aquarius. April 20th and May 20th. Messages for Aquarius. No, you want it. Okay. Do you want this, Spirit? Okay. All right, one more. Messages for Aquarius for their highest vibration for April 20th, May 20th. All right. And let's do top and bottom. Okay. And let's get one of these real quick. Spirits, guides, messages for our sign Aquarius. One card, please. The highest vibration, April 23, Aquarius. Okay. Messages for Aquarius, April 23, Aquarius. Oh, okay. Messages for air sign Aquarius for April 20th and May 20th. One card, please. What do we need to see? What do we need to know? Okay. Then we got top and bottom. All right. Yes. Okay. So let's bring everything. Yes. Don't worry about that, y'all. Periodically will happen sometimes. Okay. And then, yep. Right off the bat, Aquarius. I was looking. But let's talk about it real quickly in case you're just tuning in. I will put in the timestamps after the live is done. But we're doing a different spread, right? And so each of these four main cards here in the center is going to be about a week or so's time. So the first one is April 20th through May 26th. I mean, April 20th through April 26th. That was weird. Okay. Might be a message, or just me. April 27th through about May 3rd or so for the second card, second week. Third week will be from about May 4th through May 10th, and fourth week would be from around May 11th through May 20th. Or the whole thing, like I said, could be from April 20th to May 26th, because that's what I said, and that was weird. But take it as you will, right? It is a general reading. Everybody is welcome in case you're just tuning in. And so whenever you see this reading, it is meant for you. It's also a timeless reading. So, for example, some of the messages may resonate a couple months in the past, a couple months in the future, a year in the past, vice versa, right? But everybody is welcome. So, also I will be, oh no, forgot to take the picture, you guys. Later, I'll rewatch the video and pull the cards and take the picture and post it because I always do that and I do it for every sign. So I'm going to take this one right now before I forget, but I will go back later and read it. Right? Good times. Okay. It happens. It's not a big deal. Okay. So at least we got you there, Aquarius, your picture. But yes, let's get back into your reading. So later when I post the photo, if you want to take a look at the cards more up close and in detail, all you have to do is click in the description box below and it'll take you to my Facebook page. And I usually post it in one of the comments under the readings, but in case you want to look at past photos from past readings or what have you, all that stuff is there. So yes, anyway, Aquarius. Let's go ahead and call out your first four cards here and then go in order. So you have Six of Sacred Circles, also known as Six of Pentacles, right side up, the Ace of Staves, right side up, the Nine of Swords in reverse, the Eight of Cups, right side up, okay? And you have pretty much only two major arcanas, but that's still, it's not good or bad, it's just something to know, right? So you have Gemini, the Lovers, over here, energy, and then you have Libra energy with the High Priestess. Not the High Priestess, the Empress. Libra with the Empress energy over here. So you could be dealing with a Gemini or a Libra, or you have a lot of that in your chart, Aquarius, or the other person does with multiple people, or it could have something to do with the general astrology, collective unconscious at this time. So only take it if it resonates for you as far as the other zodiac energies that we see here. But like I was starting to say earlier, this is a pretty nice reading. You really don't even have like an energetic block here as far as in the future current energies in the first four cards. You could say there's a little bit of some in the past in some way, and we'll break that down later. But lots of good stuff here, Aquarius. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about your first card, the Six of Sacred Circles or Six of Pentacles, right side up. This is a card that speaks of balance, right? 3 and 3 is 6. And that could be, again, Libra energy, since we were talking about Libra energy over here, but it doesn't have to be. This is, right, it's like in the middle almost of getting to 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Sacred Circles. So it's not 1 or 2, it's 6, but it's on its way. But it also has this energy of needing to give back in some way with charity, not necessarily with money. You can give back your energy, your time, your knowledge in some way to help others, but that actually makes you more abundant in the long run, right? So this could be an energy here, Aquarius, from the recent past or maybe even currently that you could be giving off that energy, or somebody around you could be inspiring you to get into that energy. It will be different for everybody, but this is a really nice energy to have in the beginning of your reading here. And we also see really tiny too is this full moon in the background, way in the back there, the card, you can see it. Okay, so this could be a reference to maybe something happening the last full moon, a couple of full moons ago. Maybe it's talking about the full moon coming up on May 15th, okay, which is also would be more the fourth card if we're talking about timing, but it doesn't have to be. But either way, you know, it's also a balance of chakras, okay? If you see these little tiny bags that are tied to the tree, right? Those are the chakra colors. So it's a balance in lots of different areas within your body, starting there, right? And then sharing with others if you have stuff to give, right? Giving back in some way. Again, whether it's money or it's your time or your skill or your knowledge of something. But that's really beautiful, okay? And then we come to your second card here, which is the Ace of Staves, or the Ace of Wands in the right side up position, as it's also known, and aces are that new beginning, fresh start energy, okay, and a little bit of fiery energy, right? So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius possibly. But when we talk about this Ace of Wands here, and this is also the week we're in now, depending on when you're watching, but right, so from April 27th or so to about May 3rd or so, that new month, new fresh start energy is always really, really good, right? And so this is, you know, kind of these first two cards are kind of what supports the growth that I really see here, Aquarius, with your third card, because you have the Nine of Swords in reverse, okay? This is how you want to see this card. Just give me 1 second. This is about letting go of anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in your head, all that. So it could be you yourself here, Aquarius, or another person or multiple people, general environment situation. And this is the third card, third week. So the first week or so of May, right? Till about May 3rd through about May 10th or so. But it doesn't matter. Those are just guidelines. But it's really like this balanced energy, this giving back energy, paying it forward, as they say, right? And then also this fresh start, new beginning, passion, creativity with that Ace of Wands or Ace of Staves is kind of what supports that energy of somebody to let go of being too much up in the air, in the head, in the crown chakra energy. And since you are Aquarius, an air sign, you know, that's good especially for you, even if you're not a sun, rising, or moon, let's say Aquarius, you could have a lot of air in your chart regardless, even if it's not necessarily just Aquarius, right? You could have a lot of Gemini in your chart or whatever, but it's like really being able to let a lot of that go, okay? And so this is where we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each of your decks here in relation to this Nine of Swords in the reverse position. Again, a beautiful position. It shows a lot of growth, okay? So for the first deck, we have the Three of Staves in the right side up position, the Three of Wands, and then we have the Eight of Swords in the right side up position here in this past. So this could be recent past, couple of months ago, days, weeks, hours, minutes, seconds, etc. Or it could be even years ago, right? It will be different for everybody. But there was this energy with the Three of Staves of wanting to start to socialize again, energetically or physically or both, and wanting to step out in some way. Somebody was learning to balance their emotions in a positive way and then wanted to start stepping out, right? Going to the party that we see this Egyptian couple here, and they're bringing a gift to give to somebody, right? But then on the same side, we have the Eight of Swords, okay? So when you're talking about staves or wands is fire, and then swords, right, is air. So fire and air. So it's almost like somebody was perhaps in the way back past or the recent past, some kind of past, was perhaps like having too much air, making the fire too big, right? If you have too much air, the fire is going to get really big. And so that maybe was something that was going on in the past. But here we see a return to more of the balance, okay? Of not wanting to stress about the anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in the head like in the past. Somebody wants to be able to start socially or energetically going out without having those maybe even social anxieties or something here coming out, not necessarily for everybody. But yeah, I think that, like I said originally, it's a beautiful process, a beautiful way to see this card here. Now let's go ahead and talk about also what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck. So here we have the Empress in the right side up position and the Seven of Pentacles in the right side up position as well. Okay, again, in relation to the Nine of Swords in reverse. All right, so in the past, in some way, perhaps with this Libra energy, the Empress, somebody was really feeling like a leader, feeling more in their power, feeling more confident, perhaps, not necessarily, you don't have to be a leader per se, right? But taking on those qualities. The Empress is known as the business woman CEO of the tarot, right? So she gets things done. It's divine feminine energy. We see the female symbol down here. Not that only females can do that, right? That's not what we're saying. It's not a comment on gender, because we all have divine masculine and feminine inside of us, and hopefully they are all divine, right? Because sometimes if it's lower vibrational frequencies, it's not necessarily divine, but we can aspire to those divine energies inside of us, right? But when you couple it with the Seven of Pentacles in the right side up position, it's like somebody in the past was putting in a lot of work towards something, okay? Maybe to be the Empress or to stay in that Empress energy, that Libra energy. It could also be that if there was an evaluation in the past in some way, at work or a relationship with romantic friends or family, etc., or even yourself, right? That you see this guy, he is picking fruit off of this tree or this bush, right? And he's turning it into money, into coins. So he sees right here, and he says that he still has work to do. He knows how much he's already done, but he knows he still has a lot more to do. So maybe in the past, what was facilitating all of this growth here in the present, Aquarius, to let go of the anxiety, worry, overthinking, was because perhaps you had an honest evaluation of yourself, or other people had an honest evaluation of you, and they saw that you were a hard worker in whatever you were talking about here, right? Again, it could be money, health, love, career, relationship, all that good stuff. And so basically, these two cards facilitated that Nine of Swords in the reverse position. Hold on, guys. One second. I think I have to sneeze. Oh God. Woo. Oh, that was a big one. Okay. And my crown fell off. Okay. Ooh. 1 second. Okay. Good times. Allergies. Yes. So where was I? Okay, we were just finishing up the Nine of Swords in reverse, that we said it was really good, and these cards facilitated that. 1 second. Excuse me. Okay. Now, moving forward, Aquarius, we're talking about your fourth card here. And it's interesting because this was the first card that was for Capricorn. And it's just if you were watching the other reading, but it's not a big deal or anything. So here, it's almost like because of, and let me show you, right? We go from the Nine of Swords to then the Eight of Cups. All right. And this is that, let's say, middle of May energy. So it could be from around May 11th through May 20th that we were saying, right, as an example. This is going inward within to find out and ask those questions, emotional questions, right? So I don't see it as a good or bad thing. It does have the full moon up here. So when is our next? Well, we have the full moon lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse tomorrow. But this is more in the future. In the future, we have a full moon on May 15th, but I don't know when the next new moon is. It could be a timing thing here, so you can always look up, because I don't want to get distracted and look it up for you, when the next new moon in May will be. But it doesn't have to be for everybody. But it's really about asking those questions, right? So what makes me emotionally fulfilled and happy? What makes them, the other people in my life, too? What fills their cup? Who fills it? Same thing for me, vice versa. Okay, so it's taking a break. And it's interesting because normally you would see the Eight of Cups right here. And then this is your past energy. Then you would see the Three of Wands. So, excuse me, taking a break energetically, socially, to figure out emotions, and then stepping out and saying, "Oh, now I figured out those emotions with the Nile River in the back on the water, and now ready to get back into the scene." But it's kind of the opposite. It's like this happened in the past in some way, and that's of course right, normal kind of thing for life. Nobody's life path is like ever just a straight linear line, or A to B to C. It's there's often times where things kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it all is divine timing, and I do believe that. Okay, so here when we look at your confirmation card here, and this is more future current energies, and it's going to confirm all 4 of these here. I would say that and by the way, it is the Lovers in the right side up position. So this could be about lots of different unions, or one union if you have multiple unions in your life. But when we were talking about earlier about the divine feminine, divine masculine, this is higher vibrational union, whether it's romantic, work partnership with friends or family, or even union of different parts of yourself coming together, right? So Archangel Gabriel, I think, is looking down on them and blessing them on the love, right? On the union, the partnership. They bring out the best in each other. It's an equal give and take. And so when we have this Lovers card here, and it's confirming all these other cards, I feel that it is saying that particularly, okay, when I think of like a generalization for Aquarius, right, I would say that they are very similar energy in some regards to Aries, or even to Libra, where they're entrepreneurs, right? They want to show that they can do stuff on their own, and they most certainly can, right? But we don't want to also forget that we do need the socialization. We do need to eventually want to come back out and have some type of union or multiple unions, right? That can bring out the best in ourselves and others, right? So again, friends, family, romantic partner, union of different parts of yourself, your shadow self, doing your shadow work, right? Whatever it means for you. But I think that if there is a little bit of this break here coming up in some way to ask those questions, what makes me emotionally happy, content, fulfilled, emotional boundaries, priorities, that these are all good things that you have to ask if you want a divine union, whatever that union is for you. Okay, so that's how I see it. It's very nice here, Aquarius. So let's get into your beautiful oracle card before you go. So this is the Rumi Oracle deck, right, by Elena Fairchild, and he was a 13th century poet, and she's taken some of his poetry and put it together with these beautiful artists' cards here. And so you got card number 9, the impossible made possible, and you see the earth in the center and this beam of light coming out and a woman going around the shape of the earth and then space. And so that's really cool. I've never seen that card before. So let's read the poem here real quickly. Once I find it. Okay. Okay. Aquarius. So the impossible made possible. All right. Love brings the sea into boiling and turns the mountain into a pebble. Love creates infinite openings in the dark sky and shudders the earth with its magnificence. She spins, this great earth goddess, upon invisible strings, almost a wildly pulsating ballet of life. Stars are born, live and dead all around her. Life moves in constant flux, and still she spins in her great, loving, constant Perrier. Right, that's like the ballet thing. Okay. How can this be? All of creation is born from nothing. Out of endless silence and darkness, light emerges. What strange magic is this? The sun heats the solar system and burns with the power to destroy life, yet it is a force by which life is sustained. Surely this makes no sense and cannot be. We dance in the realm of the impossible, made possible constantly, you and I. We are so engrossed in it, so familiar with it, and yet so blind to it, that these constant impossibilities happening in every moment fail to inspire us. Oh, it's not over, sorry. Yet, what are your biggest, boldest, most extraordinary, impossible dreams compared to this great impossibility of life itself? They are but tiny seeds in the Creator's masterful hand, being now planted in the heavenly garden. Yes, they are being planted right now, for the moon tells us when the time is right. Most tenderly shall they be watched over, nurtured into fullness according to the season. Yes, that growth is assured. The impossible is now made possible. Okay, beautiful. All right. So here is a little meditation to get in the energy of this card. And it says, place your hands very lightly at your throat and say aloud, with Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, as my witness, I now offer myself into the hands of the all-loving creative intelligence of this universe. I release all vows, intentions, or beliefs ever made, consciously or unconsciously, in this or any lifetime, that are based in doubt and fear, holding back from the creative fruition of my soul upon the earth. I dedicate myself to love and accept the gifts of grace that bring me into greater fulfillment now. May I be blessed so that I can surrender resistance and accept what is coming to me for what it is, a gift of love, and so be it. Place your hands at your heart and focus your breath for a moment or two as it flows in and out. When you're ready, place your hands in prayer and bow your head to your hands. Right? Okay. You have completed your sacred honoring ritual. So beautiful, Aquarius. Hopefully you got something from this. Always feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And I will post your picture in a little while of all the cards here in case you want to see them up close more in detail. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I will be hopefully coming back tonight with the other readings that are still due. The Pisces and the Aries. All right, so you're always welcome to come back too. But yes, thank you guys so much for your energy, for your likes, for your shares, and your subscriptions. They all are free ways to help the channel, right? So I think they say what the first couple hours of when the video posts, the more likes that it has, it shares it with. So yes, right on the bell. So it's not necessarily just about me being like, I want to know if you resonate with this and like it, but that, of course, but also to just be able to share it with others too is cool. So anyway, you guys take care, and I will. All right, bye. Enjoy this period. Okay, bye.